this is your first time joining or listening or watching, welcome back to my channel. This is HR Unicorn Life with Courtney. And really the purpose of this particular video, this is my second video. So if you didn't see the first one, check out the first one. But really it's to help you understand kind of how I got into my career in HR and hopefully shed light on, the possibilities of starting in one career, or at least believing you're going to start in one career and deciding to make what would we like to call that? Haven't thought about that yet. This is off the cuff. So I made a detour, I guess you could say. I made a detour and my career started in hospitality. So let's start there. So again, welcome back to my channel. This is HR Unicorn Life with Courtney. And the reason why it's called HR Unicorn Life is because I have been told by multiple people that I have worked with or collaborated with that I'm like a unicorn. And I've been in human resources for over 15 years. And so it just seemed to be a good fit. Unicorns are unique. They don't always fit in with, the norm. They think outside the box. They have a growth mindset. They're intentional. They're proactive. They're thoughtful. And so that's where that pretty much derived from. So yeah, let me tell you about me, a little bit more about me so that you can understand the journey as well as how I can best support you and what you can learn from me and what hopefully tips and things that might be helpful for you. So my name is Courtney and I've been in human resources for more than 15 years. I'm actually getting close to 20, but I feel like 15 is better at this point in my life. And I started my career in hospitality. So I went to UCF, go Knights, in Orlando, Florida. I'm from Florida originally, and I worked in hospitality. I worked at many hospitality companies. I worked for a smoothie chain. If you know me, you know which one. And I really enjoyed training people. I enjoyed training people, seeing how they understood it, how they were able to use it and improve. And really for me, I got joy out of saying, hey, I helped this person and I made sure that they understood, what they needed to do and how they needed to do it. And I truly enjoyed, and like I said, if you know me, I truly enjoyed making smoothies. I still do to this day, though it's not at the franchise that I was working at, but I truly enjoy it. And one of the really, really neat things about working at that smoothie chain is I was able to train new team members. And through that, received excellent scores for secret shoppers, which I thought was fantastic. From there, I thought, okay, I'm going to stick this hospitality thing out. I'm going to continue to work in hospitality. I'm going to continue to work in food and beverage. And I'm going to own a franchise one day. I have not done that yet, and I don't think I will, but I just truly enjoyed it. So at that opportunity, in that time, I was able to train new team members. I was able to support them in their growth and really just prepare them to be successful in the role that they were in. At the same time, I was working on my hospitality bachelor's degree, and I thought, okay, hospitality management, I can do that. I can work at a hotel chain. I can work at a food and beverage chain. I slowly realized that, I don't know if I want to do not just hospitality, but hospitality management. And thankfully, Rosen College of Hospitality started an event management program. And I thought, oh, I love planning things. And again, bringing people joy. How can I support them? How can I help them? How can they have a good time? And so, yeah, I was like, I'm going to follow this event management track. did that and worked for an event management company, a catering and event company. Loved working there. I mean, that was probably one of my most favorite jobs. And towards my senior year, like my last, was it the last 2 semesters of my senior year at UCF, following the hospitality/event management track, I realized, okay, I do like event management, I do like hospitality, but there's something missing. Where's the joy in helping others? How can I really do that at a full scale? And that brought me back to the training part. So there was an HR internship. I took that on for 6 months and I focused on training. So from there I thought, oh, and just to see like the light bulb go off and to see how enthusiastic and happy people were when they understood what they were learning, that, and you're gonna hear this word a lot, joy, really brought joy to me. So I said, okay, I can definitely do this. Like, I feel like I have the personality for it. People aren't gonna fall asleep in my trainings. Like, they're really gonna enjoy what I have to say. And so as I was finishing up my internship, I was looking for opportunities to stay in Florida and work at one of the local event management companies, or stay at the place I was at, or a hospitality company that focused on the event portion of it, or, you know, then I've had this training in my back pocket. Unfortunately, and I think this happens with a lot of college grads, my expectations were not where they needed to be, and I couldn't find a job in Florida. At that time, my parents had moved to Virginia, and though I really wanted to stay in Florida, and I said I would never move out of Florida, I believe that's what I was saying at that age, I made a big leap and moved up to Virginia with my parents. And guess what? Within, I think it was like 4 weeks, within 4 weeks, I found a job at a hospitality management company as an HR intern. And that training internship, that HR internship that I had while I was at UCF really catapulted me to where I needed to be as far as having the initial skills to support that type of role. So it was an HR assistant role at a hospitality management company. And I pretty much supported the HR administrator. So anything that we needed to do, employee relations, union dues, helping people get onboarded, really the ins and outs of HR. And so I really learned a lot at that company on just the ins and outs of HR. And I did that for about a year until I realized this is too much for someone just getting out of college, have the expectation to do it all. And so I wanted to reposition myself into a role where I was able to find a niche that I was really, really good at, like the training, and just focus on that, or at least, you know, maybe project management, because a lot of that kind of coincides when it comes to training, when you're building out programs, when you're implementing them, when you're getting people to show up. And then that goes back to the event management too, right? A lot of planning was involved. So about a year in after that company, I moved into a defense industry organization, aerospace and defense, and worked there as an HR recruiting coordinator. And so my experience at my previous role really set me up for that role. And thankfully, you know, for that, it was really interesting. I was supporting global recruiting. So we're talking full life cycle recruitment, from the time that they applied to the job to the time that I reviewed a resume, got it over to our recruiter, got it over to the hiring manager, accepted the candidate, brought them in, traveled, brought them in, got them supported or got them set up with working globally, which was really interesting. You have to really build relationships with the places you're gonna have to get visas from, and these individuals needed visas, and then deploying them overseas for a year. So that was very contract-based recruiting, and I was able to do that. And then from there was an opportunity within the same organization as an HR business partner. So I was going back. I may have skipped something in there. When I was an HR assistant, I was promoted within a few months to the HR administrator role because the administrator left. So then I took on all of their responsibilities, which became my responsibility. So let's just say I was very versed in all things HR. And so that's what really helped me get into the HR recruiting coordinator role. And I did that for a couple of years. And then another opportunity within the same organization came up to be an HR business partner. I did that for a couple of years, which led me to relocating from Virginia to Louisiana. Definitely didn't see that on my bingo card. God had other plans for me, and I'm glad he did, because that's where I met my husband, and where we had our children. And so there I was an HR business partner, and I was a training coordinator, kind of like a training program manager, because I was able to really scale the type of trainings that were needed and required, and increase individuals coming to training and hopefully enjoying training, because I was hosting and supporting that, facilitating. And then during that position, I was also a employee resource group president. I was voted into that role, and I supported 2 employee resource groups, which brought up engagement and brought up engagement, reduced attrition, because people wanted to stay. They saw that they had additional benefits through the employee resource groups. And I really enjoyed training. When there was an opportunity to help people with their resumes or help them with their talent profiles, as far as like preparing for a performance evaluation or internal opportunities, I was just like, me helping them is going to help them succeed in what they need in their careers. And again, that brought me joy. It really felt like that was my purpose, to help others. And so, if I were to rewind and go back to like college days, I thought I wanted to be a nurse to help others. That turned into hospitality that helps others in a way where you're bringing joy, you're bringing excitement, you're bringing fun from an entertainment perspective. And so, full circle, when I get back into the HR, I saw this as, okay, training, I'm doing that. I've did that in the past. What's next? I want to make sure I'm not staying stagnant in my career. And then it was time to move back to Virginia. So we moved back to Virginia. I could not keep my training job because it was based in Louisiana. So I had to start looking external from that particular company. And that was really nerve-wracking, because I thought, I'm so comfortable. I built really great relationships. What am I going to do? I know I can win others over, and I know I have a really good job of promoting and building relationships. So I was a little nervous, but I also knew that God has a plan. And so that plan was getting me where I can best support and bring my skills to the table. So that led me going to another aerospace and defense company, a competitor to the one that I was previously working at, as a senior HR business partner, where I was supporting HR for HR, because HR needs HR too. If you didn't know that, ding, 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 HR needs HR too. Okay, we need help too. So I did that for 2 years, even supported their HR leadership development program, which was really exciting, and then transitioned to a leadership role. So I was able to spend about 4 years in the leadership role, guiding, helping, developing others, moving them up, not moving them up, but helping them grow laterally and vertically, and really just working through all the ins and outs of how things can be developed, supported, transformed. So I did some HR transformation, I did some digital transformation, worked through that quite a bit, had a really great team, and in between time, started supporting a nonprofit, Inella's Restoration Center, with their HR related items that they need. So building policies, procedures, handbooks, onboarding people, full life cycle recruiting, and just, doing that. Now, at the same time, I also was tipped off. I don't know if tipped off is the right word, but basically I was told, hey, Courtney, you do really great resumes. You really help me with preparing for interviews. Have you thought about starting a business? So I did. C. Pruitt Consulting. And so as a career coach, I help people with their resumes. Well, not right now. That's a different story for another time. But prepare them for their interviews. Definitely could still do that. Webinars for resume workshops and interview prep, supporting them through the conversations, the ins and outs, the tips and tricks that they wouldn't know of, because they don't have an HR background. So that's really what I did in helping them, support them in their career journey, seeing them win and seeing them just do well was just really, truly something that I knew I was made to do. So all in all, I started off as an HR assistant. I currently an HR consultant, HR manager, and the sky's the limit. One day I said I want to be a CHRO, which is Chief Human Resources Officers, like the top of the top almost, and or own my own HR consulting business, or do something like this in between time, or have this takeover. The whole point of this channel is to help others, to prepare them for opportunities, to help them learn the ins and outs of HR, things that they probably aren't even relative to, that they don't have any knowledge on, but they should, just to be a very informed employee. And while I can provide advice, I still recommend that you go to your HR professionals, your legal advice. This is more so my point of view, but I will say that I have a lot of good information to share that I believe will truly help individuals throughout their career life cycle. So if you want to hear more, if you want to learn more, please continue to follow my channel, like, subscribe, comment. That helps get the word out. It helps me move throughout the YouTubeverse. I'm sure that's not a thing. I just made that up. But the whole point is to help others. And if I can help just one person, and I know I can help many, many more, then I'm doing the right thing. So please leave a comment of questions or concerns that you've had that I could possibly answer for you. Or you can email them directly, and I'll put the details at the bottom of the description so that you can, send me your questions, and hopefully in a future video, I can answer those for you. Depending on the scenario, I'll probably answer them individually, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from a little bit better. The fact that, hey, I was able to change career fields just because there are multiple skills that kind of ebb and flow throughout those different opportunities. And hopefully I can be a blessing to you and provide support or insights that you previously didn't have knowledge to. So again, thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. And I look forward to chatting with you in the next, on the couch likely again. It's so comfortable. That's why I'm sitting here. But hopefully I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Have a blessed day.